At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Good morning to you, everyone. I'm meteorologist Mike Krueger. It is Coffee with Krueger at 7 a.m. right on the dot. How you doing out there this morning? It is Tuesday, October 1st. Can you believe it is October? And as one of my radio partners, I do a radio update with in the mornings, as Logan Kane from 106 X would say, Hottober. It definitely is going to be a hot start to your October. And really, it's even though temperatures are dropping, it's still going to be 5 to even 10 degrees above normal through the rest of the week, this weekend, and most likely through the middle of next week. So the first week of October is most likely going to be well into the 90s for the valley. Now, obviously not as warm for the coast, right? And the mountains, we'll see some more notable drops in those temperatures in the long range as well. But the valley is definitely going to be on the hot side here for quite some time. You got some of the regulars checking in this morning. Lisa Stevens saying happy first day of official spooky season. Yes, it is the Halloween month. As we all know, we're going to start seeing more and more of those holiday, or should I say, Halloween decorations. Chappie is also saying happy Tuesday to everyone. Thank you for checking in this morning. Let's go ahead and get you right to Krueger's Quick Cast so you know what to expect as you're heading out the door this morning for your Tuesday, October 1st. All right, well, let's start off with the high temperatures we saw out there yesterday, shall we? It was 100 degrees in Red Bluff. Now, I was expecting most of us to stay below 100 degrees, and most of us did. But Red Bluff did touch 100 degrees. Otherwise, 98 for Redding, 98 for Corning. Chico, look at that, just 1 degree shy of 100. You saw a high of 99, 94 out in Oroville. 80s, though, for most of the higher elevations, though, to the west in Trinity County, inland, low to mid-90s. And we did see those right around 60 for Crescent City, but much warmer in Eureka with a high of about 71 degrees yesterday. Out there right now, we're about 70 for Redding, so a mild start to the day. Winds are not as strong. Much calmer winds, although a little breezy in some spots, especially in the foothills. 63 in Chico right now, 59 for Oroville, 35 chilly degrees in Alturas, 38 in Bernie. You're not too much not too much warmer than Alturas. Still that temperature warming trend, or temperature inversion that is, for Shingletown at 58, 42 in Weaverville, and right around 50. Out along the coast right now. Visibility is looking pretty good out there. Take a look at Elk Country north of Trinidad, and looks like we've got some beautiful weather out there this morning, and even more beautiful out along the immediate coast there in Crescent City. That's not George. That's a different looking seagull there. But just if you look kind of in the left part of your screen there on the roof there, we've got a seagull just kind of laying down, hanging out. But more noticeable is that beautiful sunrise, those colors out there. No clouds, no fog, just clear skies this morning out along the coast. We take you back to Elk Country, see if there's any elk out there, and it doesn't look like we have any. Wouldn't that be fun? I love it when we can see the elk out there. I remember a couple of mornings we did see the elk kind of running around, actually, prancing around. So there's a visibility. Looks pretty good out there. Don't have any fog, even along the coast. So heading out the door this morning. Getting the kids out to school, you're heading out to work. Temperatures mid-60s, mid to upper 60s in the valley, just depending on where you are. For Trinity County, mid-50s, North Coast around 50. You've got mid to upper 40s for Modoc County in the Eastern Mountains, and for Siskiyou County, temperatures in the low 50s for this morning. There is a heat advisory, and yes, before you roll your eyes, there's a reason why the National Weather Service decides to issue a heat advisory, even when it's quote-unquote only going to be just a little over 100 degrees in the valley and some of the surrounding foothills. Yes, we got through the summer. We saw temperatures 105, 110. We broke our all-time high at the Redding Airport officially, okay, with 120 degrees, okay? So, 119 degrees. So you get the idea. It's been hotter, but the normal high for this time of the year in the valley is 87 degrees. So we're going to be more than 10 degrees above average for this time of the year. So what the Weather Service does is it takes into account the heat risk here. Now, what the heat risk does is it takes into account the climatological data. That is, what's the normal high for the year and what's the forecast high. And it takes a look at how much higher it is above normal and what kind of impact that will have on people's health. So when it's in the orange category, this is when it's moderate, and this is when it affects most people sensitive to heat, especially. So you have two categories here, or two things to take into account. People who are more sensitive to the heat, such as elderly, young children, and of course your pets, and if they don't have proper cooling and or hydration. So a lot of us may be healthier, we can handle the heat a little bit better, we hydrate ourselves with plenty of water, we've got access to air conditioning, but there are those that aren't as healthy as you, and they don't have access to AC or water, and heat like this is much more dangerous for people like that, right? So those are the people we need to pay close attention to. Check on your elderly neighbors, check on your elderly family members, young children. Make sure you're taking care of your pets, making sure that they're not too hot. Again, you may not be too bad, but they may be panting like crazy. And you got to check, make sure your dogs have plenty of water as well. So the heat risk for today and tomorrow is in that moderate range, but in the foothills, we're actually getting that major category because it's obviously much more above normal there than it is this time of the year. Let's take a look at Futurecast. We got sunny skies even for the coast, but that marine layer is inching closer, but won't be here until tomorrow morning. So there are the highs for today, about 100 degrees or slightly higher. We've got those temperatures mainly in the 80s and 90s for the higher elevations, but sort of the warmer spots like Weaverville, Hayfork, about 100, and the inland air is also about 100 degrees. Temperatures for the coast are going to be flirting with, if not, making it into the low 70s for your daytime highs today. And taking a look at your 7-day outlook. Of course, you got temperatures over 100 degrees for most of us in the valley through tomorrow. Now, we are going to see a slight drop, but not by much. Mid-90s by the weekend, mid to upper 90s really. For Saturday, Sunday, mid-90s by early next week. Now, again, that's a slight drop in the temperatures, right? But the average high is 87. So we're 5 to 10 degrees above normal for this time of the year, at least for the next 7 days, but probably longer than that. For the coast, you're going to see a slight drop as well by early next week in the low 60s. There you can see inland and for Trinity County about 100. Temperatures actually a more noticeable drop for the higher elevations in inland tomorrow, but obviously you saw in the valley it wasn't. And then temperatures in the low 90s by the time we get to Friday through the weekend, and right around 90, upper 80s by Monday of next week. Taking a look at Mount Shasta, Alturas, and Susanville. Also more notable drop in those temperatures, especially by the weekend and into early next week, eventually dropping down to the low 80s, although in Susanville, mainly staying in the mid 80s. Let's take a look at the forecast wind gusts for today. And you can see still a little breezy in some spots this morning, but by the afternoon, no longer an issue. And even for the eastern mountains, not that bad. And of course, there you can see for the afternoon, a little bit stronger for the eastern mountains this afternoon. Very low humidity down to the single digits, even for parts of the eastern mountains. That's going to elevate that fire weather risk. In fact, you can see here we're in the moderate to high range, especially for the east side of the valley. All right, so let's take a look at some of those cameras out there. Lake Oroville. Another beautiful shot. Look at that, though. See the trees blowing in the wind? As I mentioned, it's a little breezy in some spots out there this morning, so something to think about. If you are thinking about mowing the lawn this morning, if the winds are blowing at all, probably not a bad idea to hold off. Taking a look at Lake Oroville, North Forebay. Looks like we've got another beautiful shot there as well, and no winds to speak of, at least in that part of the lake. Main Street Chico, yeah, looks like the camera's finally moving. We got some people out there getting ready to go to work. Looks like some landscapers heading out to work. Traffic flowing smoothly on Main Street Chico, Highway 32. And looks like that's the case also on Highway 99 at Neal Road, although, yeah, a lot of traffic. People getting ready and already heading out to work this morning, most likely. Maybe getting the kids off to school, some of those early risers. Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive, you can see looks like traffic is flowing smoothly there as well. I do want to remind you that I do have radio partners. I do radio updates at 7:30, approximately 7:30 in the morning with Don and Heather in the mornings. At about 7:50 in the morning with Logan Kane on 106X, and News Talk KQMS at a little after 8 o'clock in the morning. So be sure to check them out if you're on your morning commute and you want to check out my latest forecast. You didn't get a chance to check out on Weather NorCal. You can do so by tuning into any one of these radio stations at that particular time, and you will be able to watch the latest forecast. All right, let's check in with everybody, see how you're doing out there this morning. We got Shelly from Weaverville saying we've got a bit of a roller coaster ride out there. Have a great day. You bet. You too, Shelly. Thank you for checking in this morning. We've got good morning from Delinda saying good morning from MacArthur. Oh, we've got Chris. Here's a non-regular, if you will. Chris saying good morning from Bieber. And when I say regulars, the ones that kind of check in on a regular basis. We got Tom Frazier from Weaverville saying good morning. So Tom, I hope you're enjoying the cooler temperatures out there this morning, but pretty hot there this afternoon. Good morning, everyone from Curtis Brown. This weather is spooky. It is. It kind of is. You know, it's October, and this is when you're ready to just be ready for cooler temperatures. But unfortunately, summer is going to stick around for a little bit longer than we would like to. So that's pretty much it. Chris saying radio updates. That's wonderful. I will look for that. Well, that's good to know. I'm glad that you were watching this morning when I did that update. Yeah, I've been working with them since day one, actually. It's kind of worked a little bit against me. I would say, I hate to say that. They're great. I love them, and they give me great promotions. But I was actually talking to someone who listens to KQMS every morning. And I go into such great detail in the forecast on that radio program in the morning at a little after 8 o'clock in the morning that he's like, I don't need to check in. That's all I need. I just need to listen to Weather NorCal in the morning at 8:05 in the morning, and that's all I need. He doesn't need to check Weather NorCal. I'm like, well, I'd like you to check Weather NorCal, right? I want to get more traffic on my website and more traffic on more people downloading the app and all that good stuff, right? So let's do that. Let's get more people watching. Let's get more people downloading the app. Let's get more people going to the website, because the more people that do that, the easier it is for me to go out there and sell advertising. And the more advertising I get, the better for you, because that means I can continue to give you this programming and have the funding to improve things, right? Because the more money that's coming in, the more we can make improvements. I've got these ideas, I've got these great plans that will require some funding, like a better studio. I mean, this green screen behind me, that's great. It's great for doing the weather forecast, but not for this. But I want to be in a more normal looking studio. I'd like to bring other people on. I'd like to have someone that I can do a morning show with. So those are things that cost money. And so in order to do that, we've got to get more sponsors. So again, I'm kind of going on my little soapbox here. So there you go. All right, tell you what, let's get ourselves to the forecast, shall we? The more deeper dive forecast. And speaking of sponsors, we've got one for really since day one of Coffee with Krueger, and that's Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. I want to thank Wind River for their support. All right, take a look at the temperatures out there right now. Now, we were a little bit warmer yesterday morning at this time out towards Reading because the winds were blowing. Still a little breezy in some spots, though, and that's why we're still in the upper 60s and low 70s, right? But we also have warmer air that's in place, and that's what's going to give us warmer temperatures even for tomorrow. But kind of a wind-sheltered and cooler, right? We're looking at 63 for Chico, 59 for Oroville. But look at Alturas, 35, 38 for Bernie, 39 in Chester, 40 out in Susanville, and we got temperatures right around 50 for the coast. So here's your headlines. Heat advisory for the Valley and foothills through Wednesday. Now, I do expect a slow drop in our temperatures for the rest of the week into the weekend. But the thing is, temperatures will still at least be 5 to 10 degrees above normal for this time of the year, at least in the Valley, through not only this weekend, but even to the middle of next week. So highs closer to normal near the middle to end of next week. Okay? And again, it's probably closer to the end of next week. But looking at the long range, all I'm seeing is dry conditions. I'm not seeing any rain over the next 2 weeks. Now, again, I'm not sitting here saying that that's my official forecast. It'll be dry for the next 2 weeks. But the trend is calling for dry conditions through the middle of October. Just not seeing it. Just not seeing the rain out there. And really not seeing any major drops in temperatures. Although, toward the end of next week, we could even drop maybe just slightly below normal for this time of the year. All right, so there it is. The highs we saw yesterday. Didn't quite reach 100 for most of us, with the exception of Red Bluff. 94 out in Oroville, 79 for El Tourist. These are the highs yesterday, right? 81 out towards Susanville, and 93 degrees for Weaverville. So again, we have a heat advisory in effect until 11 o'clock tomorrow night, most likely expiring before then. But you get the idea. Now again, this is something talked about a little bit earlier. Yes, we have seen much hotter temperatures during the summer months than we're going to be looking at today. But the reason why the Weather Service issues these heat advisories, because they look at this guide right here. This is an algorithm that they spent a lot of time researching and putting together. And what this does is it takes a look at what the normal high temperatures for the day, just a general idea, right? That it takes a look at the normal high for the day and what the forecast highs are going to be, and what kind of impact that will have, just how much more above normal it is, and what kind of impact that will have on people who are more sensitive to the heat in particular. So you see the oranges and reds. Orange is a moderate heat risk. Red is mainly in the foothills here, in that major heat risk. So what does that mean? Well, the moderate heat risk means it affects most people sensitive to heat, right? So if you have a condition that, that's harder for you to kind of, deal with this heat, elderly people, for example, a lot of elderly people have these issues, not to mention even younger children, a lot of young children, and also important to watch your pets. So especially for those, so number one, they're sensitive to the heat, but number two, and especially if they don't have proper cooling, right? They don't have AC or proper hydration. Those are the people that even after a big heat wave and after a big hot summer, even in October when it's just over 100 degrees, this can have a big impact on them. So that's why it's important during these late season heat waves as well that you check on the elderly, check on the young children, and make sure your pets are properly hydrated if you're out for a walk with them. And their paws, make sure the pavement's not too hot for them either. All right, there you can see the winds right now, just updated, and they're still a little gusty, especially down to the south here, and some of those higher elevations in the foothills, right? But otherwise not that bad. That may be a little bunk. I don't know if that's really proper information. I'll double check that a little bit later. But later this afternoon, still a little breezy off in the eastern mountains. Not so bad for the valley, although a little breezy for the coast. Let's take a look at your forecast for your Wednesday, and calm winds for the valley. Still a little breezy, especially off in the eastern Lassen and Plumas counties. For Thursday, a little concerned because the winds are picking up a little bit here, especially in the east side of the valley from the south, so not as bad, but that may elevate that fire weather risk. We'll take a look at that here in a second, but the dry conditions will pretty much be the case here this afternoon, tomorrow afternoon. No big surprises here, right? Still very dry even for your Thursday, and hot too. So the fire weather risk factors in heat, factors in wind and humidity. So today, there's a south wind, not that strong, right, but hot and dry. So we've got that moderate to high, especially in the valley, even central Siskiyou County. Not as bad for Wednesday. The winds are dying down. Still hot, though. Still dry. So that's why it's in the moderate category, even off to the east. But look at this. By Thursday, remember I was talking about those winds picking up from the south? Well, that's going to elevate that fire weather risk, even for central Siskiyou County, getting that moderate to high range. So, October is still well within the fire season, so we still got to be extra careful, especially when the winds just elevate a little bit. Even when we're talking 15 miles an hour, that can be enough to really cause a fire to spread rapidly, especially when it's still hot and dry. So the main ridge of high pressure is right here. You can see the clouds kind of moving up and over that ridge, right? It's a broad ridge of high pressure, but it's not a very strong one. It doesn't have that prominent, really just big ridge like this, right? So we've got a very impressive area of low pressure spinning away. You got snow. Yeah, we've got snow off into Canada. And one thing to remember, we're in October. We kind of forget that, right, when we're dealing with temperatures over 100 degrees, but it's October. So places that typically feel October is up to the north in Canada, where they've got snow. Of course, we're not going to see that anytime soon, but snow up to our north, right? So let's take a look at a future cast. Today, plenty of sunshine, no fog for the coast. Tomorrow morning, though, I think we'll see that fog redevelop here for central Humboldt County, around Humboldt Bay, but that will quickly burn off through the morning. In fact, probably burning off before noon, and then in the afternoon, that fog burning off as well. We still got sunny skies, even in the morning hours on Thursday for the coast, and afternoon, and of course, sunny skies everywhere else. Now, taking a look at the precipitation outlook, unfortunately, still in the drier than normal category. As I mentioned, I don't see any rain, at least for now, over the next 2 weeks. But But there will be some relief from the heat, just not a lot, at least for now. So we've got this, remember I was talking about we don't have this prominent big ridge of high pressure. That's when the temperatures are even hotter. So we have more of this broad, big ridge. This is just kind of but it's been flattened out like a pancake, right? And the reason being is because we've got these storms to our north that are kind of suppressing that heat. So yes, it is hot, but it could be hotter if these storms weren't up to our north. That kind of fizzles out, moves off to the east. We still have hot temperatures, but a weakening ridge of high pressure on Wednesday, but still hot in the valley in particular. I think we'll see probably some more notable drops here for the higher elevations tomorrow. Then I'm watching this trough of low pressure. This main pocket of cooler air just dives down to the south. So this is a little bit more to the south than the one that's to our north now. So as a result, our temperatures are dropping, but not by much. Why? Because we still have this ridge of high pressure over the desert southwest. It's still expanding into our region, but this is preventing this from building in any stronger. Okay, and then as that moves out, you got, look at this. This is a very impressive area of low pressure, very cold trough of low pressure. Okay, but we still have that ridge of high pressure down to our south and east. So really what's happening is this, they're kind of battling it out. This wants to move in, but it can't. It can't come anywhere near us because this high pressure is kind of holding on strong. Even as we go into Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, it's showing signs of getting a little bit weaker. This is digging down a little bit more to the south. And as it does that, that may eventually push eastward and help to drop our temperatures eventually, maybe closer to, if not even below normal for this time of the year, by the time we get to the end of next week. Keep in mind, this is looking at next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow. So this is our first shot, at least at a nice cool down right here. We can only hope that this will materialize, push itself eastward and drop us by the end of next week. But again, that's 7+ days out. We're still warmer than normal in that category here for the next 7 to 10 days. So take a look at the 10-day trend. This is where we do have some hope here. So still hot today and tomorrow, but you see the kind of gradual drop in those temperatures. But here's the blue line of the normal temperature of 87 degrees. We're still 5 to 10 degrees above normal, at least through Tuesday of next week. Maybe down to 90 Wednesday, and maybe, just maybe around or even just below normal by Thursday of next week. So many of you have come on to Facebook and said, hey, when can we expect to at least drop below 90? Well, that's your answer for now. That may change. It may take longer. It may get here sooner, but for now, it looks like sometime near the end of next week. So we just got to get through the next couple of days of triple digits in the valley and then get through those mid to upper 90s for the weekend and early next week. And again, a quick reminder that, yes, it's uncommon for us to, in the middle of October, to see 100 degrees or higher, but it still happens. In fact, the latest we've ever reached 100 degrees or higher, the latest we've seen 100 degrees or higher was October 14th in 1991, and 2022. I brought this and I showed you this over the last few weeks, but just kind of a reminder that although uncommon by the middle of October, it can still happen. And it's not out of the question for us to maybe see that again. It's too early to say, but I'm seeing, again, that trend downward, closer to normal, even below normal, by the time we do get into the middle of the month, but no rain. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see how late we get to 100 degrees or higher. Hopefully, today and tomorrow are the last days, but no guarantees on that one, right? There you can see the wave heights for today are actually starting to increase this afternoon. For your Wednesday, they'll kind of pick up for Wednesday morning and even Wednesday afternoon. In fact, the wave heights are going to be basically increasing as well as your winds today. As a result, there will be a small corrective advisory, but not taking effect until this evening and into tomorrow morning. All right, let's take a look at your forecast, your neighborhood forecast for today in Trinity County. So remember I was saying we're going to see a little bit more of a noticeable drop in our temperatures for tomorrow in the higher elevations. And you can see that. Still about 100 degrees today for Weaverville, but down to 97 on Wednesday. And then temperatures low 90s by the time we get to Friday and through the weekend. But today, yeah, about 100 degrees for many of us, right? Even pretty warm in High Palm at 95, 93 for Forest Glen, Ruth about 95, Mad River typically one of the cooler spots at 90 today, and Hayfork you'll see high about 99. 97 for a high today in Miranda, 101 for Redway, and it looks like Garberville about 98 degrees today. We take you out to Ferndale, the high of 72, a bit warmer in Fortuna at 77, 79 for Hyattsville, and 79 degrees for Rio Dell. Let's take you up north, 69 for Arcata, 79 for Blue Lake, 68 for Eureka. Triple digits inland, right? Willow Creek 102, Hoop about 100, 101 for Orleans. There you can see Smith River about 82, 90 in Gas Key. There's Crescent City about 69, and Oric about 78 degrees. Your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, temperatures mid to upper 90s for Highway 96. I-5, upper 80s to low 90s. Wairika, you'll eventually see kind of a little bit up and down, but upper 80s for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, mid 80s by next Monday. For Scott Valley, temperatures around 90, give or take. Temperatures down, then back up again, then back down to the mid 80s by Friday through the weekend and even early next week. And for Mount Shasta City, again, we see a more notable drop here after today. We should be down to the upper 80s by Wednesday, Thursday, mid 80s Friday, Saturday, low 80s by Sunday and Monday. 86 for Weed, a little bit cooler but still warm out towards the north and east. Look for a high of 80 to 83 degrees for Newell, 87 for Canby and California Pines, and right around 90 for Likely. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, Beaver about 86, 87 for Fall River Mills, 92 Montgomery Creek, and Paynes Creek about 95 degrees. Now Bernie, you'll be around 90 today and tomorrow, mid to upper 80s for Thursday, Friday, and then eventually down to the low 80s by Sunday and Monday. We take you out to Lake Almanor and Lassen Park. There you can see Manzanita Lake about 82. The south entrance about 76, but Chester, it's going to be a warm day today with a high of about 90 as well as tomorrow, but then that gradual drop in the temperatures as we approach the weekend. And your eastern mountains to the south, Paradise 95, 86 for Mineral, 82 for Janesville, and Susanville right around 90 degrees here for today. And your valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by Walgamith Painting. You know, your temperatures should be around 100 degrees or higher. Some of us may just dodge that triple digit mark. Orland, maybe Gridley, maybe Durham, mainly just to the south here, but overall, mainly 100 degrees or slightly higher. But of course, slightly higher elevation, Whiskeytown at 98, Lakehead about 98. 102 though for the city of Shasta Lake, 102 for Redding, 103 for Anderson, Cottonwood about 101. Let's take a look at that 7-day outlook for Redding. And you can see those temperatures around 100 degrees or higher through Wednesday. And you can see upper 90s by Thursday. And again, we're talking about a drop in the temperatures, but still very hot, right? Still 96 on Friday, 96 on Sunday and Monday, about 96 degrees. Ugh. I mean, who's ready? Who's ready for some cooler temperatures? I know I am. Linda's saying, I really appreciate that you're so in-depth explaining the weather and that you don't tell us what to wear. Yeah, I hate that forecast where they pull out, you go into the closet and they go, oh, here's what you should wear short sleeves. Listen, if it's 100 degrees, duh, you want to wear shorts, right? Duh, you want to wear a short sleeve shirt. Oh yeah, and by the way, if it's sunny, duh, wear your sunglasses. Oh, I hate that. Like, don't forget your sunglasses. Well, all right, duh, it's sunny. I agree with you on that, Delinda. Callie, Piazza. Piazza? Yeah. I love some of these names. You guys are great. Thank you from Lake Macomber, Shingletown. You bet. I love it out there. Shingletown is a great spot. Of course, Lake Macomber, also beautiful. We got Mark Olson saying, thanks for doing the weather. Hey, that's what I do. You know, even though when I left TV, people are probably going, what is he doing? Why is he leaving TV? Well, to do this. I think this is a better resource for everybody. It's better for everybody. If you don't like the news, if you don't want to watch the news, you don't have to skip through it. That's all it is here is weather, although I do some special programming, which is fun stuff, not newsy stuff. You know, Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals, an Ag Report, that's fun, right? Who doesn't like to hear about the agriculture? Maybe not everybody, but a lot of people. And then, of course, you got Pet of the Week. What else do I do? I think that's it. There's other things that I'm working on here. Lisa Stevens saying, got the sunglasses. Got the sunglasses. Absolutely. Oops. There we go. Yes, got the sunglasses. I'm glad you remember. And hopefully, you know, I reminded you and you didn't forget because of me. You can say, hey, Mike Krueger told me to get the sunglasses. All right. Yeah, that's kind of the same thing here. Oh, we got Baja. Thank you from the Baja Sur East Cape. Well, now that's interesting. Thank you for watching. I certainly appreciate that. I love it when I kind of see people from outside of the area watching. Maybe you're from here, maybe you're visiting from somewhere else and you're watching, or maybe you have friends or family in this area and like to just know what's going on with the weather, or you just think Mike Krueger's great and you want to keep watching him even though he's not in your area. Probably not that last one. But thank you for your comment there. Thank you for watching. All right, well, tell you what. Let's get ready to wrap this show up, shall we? Kind of get a little bit of music going. Some of my jazzy music. You know, interesting, I kind of found that, I don't know how I found that music for Coffee with Krueger, but it felt kind of morning show to me. It felt kind of fun. You know, really, I've never been that big on jazz my entire life, but I don't know, that was kind of fun. Oh, check this out again. I'll have to research that, see what's going on. Maybe one of you know. That's where, of course, the news comes into play, right? But again, that's not a reason to stay in news, that's for sure. But it looks like maybe, are they painting it? I don't know, it's hard to say. Maybe one of you knows what they're doing out there at the dam, but that's the second morning I've seen them out there on the dam working. But there you can see Lake Oroville, it looks pretty good. Well, that's going to do it for us, folks. Hope you have yourselves a great Tuesday. Stay cool. It's going to be hot, over 100 degrees in the valley, close to that even in the higher in the foothills. So stay cool. Check on the elderly. Make sure your pets have plenty of water. Watch on the younger children. They can also be susceptible to this heat. So have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning on Coffee with Krueger right here at 7 a.m.